Good morning, Unity community. I'm your host, Shirley Thompson. I'm filling in for Kimberly, who's not well this morning. And it's our pleasure to welcome you to today's gathering. We warmly welcome all people, all faiths, and all lifestyles. And today, we stand upon the unceded ancestral lands of the Musqueam Nation, noble guardians of these lands since time immemorial. It's here that we gather to learn, grow, and celebrate our oneness with Spirit. And if you're joining us via Zoom or YouTube, welcome. Our mission here at Unity of Vancouver is simple: to build personal and community well-being through universal spiritual teachings and practices. So let's get into it. Join me right now in our opening invocation. Together, there is one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And now please rise and join us in singing this morning's group song, May the Light of Spirit.
1, 2, 3. May the light of the Spirit shine on me. May the light of the Spirit shine on you. As God's grace and love make this a brighter world. May the light of the Spirit shine on. May the light of the Spirit shine on me. May the light of the Spirit shine on you. As God's grace and love make this a brighter world. May the light of the Spirit shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. May the light of the Spirit shine on. May the light of the Spirit shine on me. May the light of the Spirit shine on you. With God's grace and love make this a brighter world. May the light of the Spirit shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. May the light of the Spirit shine on. May the light of the Spirit shine on. One more time now. May the light of the Spirit shine on. Shine on. Thank you for singing.
Thank you, Linda and Brenda. So today's daily word is determination. My determination takes me far. In every person's life, there will be times of ease and times of struggle. In the tougher times, it's natural to feel discouraged and tempted to give up on plans and dreams. When discouragement sets in, I remember I am fully human and fully divine, a spiritual being endowed with many divine gifts. I fortify myself by invoking my innate qualities of strength and power. They give me the determination to keep going, to stay the course. I can use my body and mind to accomplish what I set out to do, but I also know there is more to me than that. The attributes of God are mine to use. I believe in myself, and I move forward with determination. Our guest speaker today is Imam Jamal Rahman, and we are very excited to share his talk about staying connected, steady, and human in challenging times. Now let's warmly open ourselves to receive what we need most from his message with 5 powerful affirmations. Together, I anchor into stillness and allow wisdom to rise from within. Through surrender, I find strength beyond resistance. In my breath, I find refuge, clarity, and return. Compassion is my compass through uncertain times. I am not separate from the world. I am a reflection of its healing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Imam Jamal Rahman. Jamal is a popular speaker and author of numerous books on Islam, Sufi spirituality, and interfaith relations. Along with his interfaith amigos, he has been featured in the New York Times, on CBS News, BBC, and various NPR programs. Please join me in giving a warm unity welcome to Jamal Rahman.
Short meditation.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that gracious introduction. My dear friends, a short meditation. If you simply sit comfortably wherever you are and just close your eyes and focus on your nostril and simply become aware of the in-breath and the out-breath. Just this much. A few more seconds, mindful of the inhalation and the exhalation. And now, my friends, letting go of this, eyes still closed, but this time, focusing on the lowest part of the spine, the sacrum area, the first chakra, and from the base of the spine, intending for a beautiful divine cord of light going down from the base of the spine, way down, deep, deep, deep into Mother Earth, connecting us to the womb of Mother Earth. And we feeling so bonded, supported, rooted in Mother Earth. Feeling centered. Feeling a sense of belonging. So supported, loved. And now let go of this, and this time focused on the crown of the head, the crown chakra. Chakras just means in Sanskrit a wheel-like opening. And from the crown chakra, make an intention to send a beautiful cord of light, divine light, any color, flowing from the crown chakra, going upwards, heavenward, way up, higher, higher, connecting us to the realms of mystery, feeling bonded with the heavens. Letting go of that now, feeling poised, perfectly balanced between heaven and earth. Letting go of everything and now focusing on the heart, a very special space. The heart. And through the heart, listening to this beautiful revelation, where Spirit, God, Divinity says to each one of us, "Beloved one," says God, "I cannot be contained in the space of the earth. I cannot be contained in the space of the heavens, but I can be contained in the space of the pure, loving heart of my devotee." Just be with that mystery. The divine heart is inside human heart. If it works for you, please touch your heart. With one hand, put the other hand on top of that if you want, and feel the beat of the heart. Be with the mystery. The divine heart is inside human heart. Spirit, God is outside of us and also inside of us. The space of the heart is actually infinite. Just be with that mystery. Divine heart is inside human heart. And in Sufism, which is Islamic spirituality, the technique is to focus on the heart into that boundless space and tell the heart with feeling, "I love you." Unabashedly, no matter how awkward it might feel, "I love you. I really love you." Or, if you like, "You are loved. You are loved." Say it again and again and again and again. You can never overdo this. You can add other words. "Thank you. I am so grateful. Thank you. I am so grateful." You can go on. "Please help me. Please help me. I need help. I surrender to you." But come back to, "I love you," or "You are loved." Say it again and again and again, and then pause, and then restart. "I love you. You are loved." I'll be quiet now. "I love you. You are loved." Repeating it with feeling as we focus on the heart. And as we keep saying those words, a most beautiful divine vibration filled with the blessings of divinity is going deep from our tongue into our mouth, even deeper into the throat, into the chest, even deeper into the heart, deeper into what is called the hidden, and then even deeper into the hidden of the hidden, amazingly loving us, blessing us, healing us, empowering us, transforming us. Just be with that for a few moments, being totally silent. Feeling loved, feeling blessed, feeling healed, feeling transformed. And now I'll do a chant. At the end of the chant, feel free to open your eyes. This is the verse that opens virtually almost all of the 114 chapters of the Quran. In the name of God, boundlessly compassionate, infinitely merciful. And then we add the words, there is no God but God. It's all one. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. One more time. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. At your convenience, please open your eyes and thank you. Thank you.
You don't have to be chained up. You don't have to be locked down. You can still be a prisoner who can't find your way out. You don't have to fall to the bottom. You don't have to burn on a pyre. You can stand up for yourself once and for all and leave it all behind. Oh, it's hard to be here. Oh, drowning in fear. Oh, you can be unchained, unchained, unchained. to be chained up. You have the power to unlock that lock. It's never too late. Just keep the faith and step out into the world's waiting arms. Yeah. Ooh, I know, wanna be free. Ooh, come on, follow me. Ooh, I know you can be unchained. You can be unchained. Unchained. You can be unchained. Unchained. You can be unchained. Thank you.
My dear friends, what a joy it is to be back here at Unity of Vancouver. You know, I've got some notes here so I can keep on script. The topic is spiritual wisdom in difficult times. If you study comparative religion, especially Taoism, you know, there's a wonderful little book called Tao Te Ching. And in that it says that one of the main problems people have is that they just don't know when to stop. I'm a product of that. I always say this, that I just keep on talking and talking and talking till somebody out there begins to snore. Then I know it's time to stop, you see. So anyhow, I'll refer to these notes from time to time. So let me start by saying that every tradition says it's a world of opposites. The Quran says, of everything we have created, that Allah has created opposites so you might receive instruction. And you might know, it says in another verse, that only God is one. I mentioned Taoism. In Taoism, they say, you know, high is defined by low, long by short. There's joys, and there's bound to be sorrows. It is inevitable. In fact, that is the first noble truth of Buddhism. Yes, my friends, let's accept the fact. Let's accept it. There is joys, but there is bound to be sorrows also. In fact, Buddhism is rooted in a question the Buddha had about suffering. By the way, the person who we call the Buddha, that's not his name. His name was Gautama Siddhartha. Buddha means the enlightened one, the one whose intelligence has awakened that person. So, the Buddha was asked many times, "Sir, who are you? Are you a god, a goddess, a sage?" His simple answer was, "I am simply awake." And I was saying that there was a question the Buddha had about suffering that is a root of Buddhism. His question was, why would a mother want to give birth to a child who would inevitably grow old, become sick, and die? This is crazy making. And he was very troubled by that. And that started his 7-year search for finding answers from which emerged the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. So I'm saying all of this. Can we just accept that, yes, there is suffering? Just be with that for a few moments. Then the next point becomes, you've heard of the 13th century sage Rumi, who never wrote, by the way. He would go into a trance. And he would just utter words. And one of his utterances about suffering, don't run towards suffering, just don't run away from them. I repeat, don't run towards afflictions, pain, suffering, just don't run away from it. Which is why, he has another utterance. This is again Rumi. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, greet them at the door laughing. Each one has been sent as a guide from beyond. Or the Christian mystic Khalil Gibran, who says, the more that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy it can contain. But once again, I have to reiterate again and again, don't run towards pain and suffering, just don't run away from it. Islamic mystics have a wonderful saying. They say, oh God, when there is pain, when there is suffering, please save me from its harm. Please, I beg you, God, save me from its harm, but please do not deprive me of its good. But that good, the growth of spiritual muscles, becoming more a developed, complete human being, has to come from within, not from somebody telling you that. It has to emerge from within you. So I ask you, what has been the suffering in your life? How have you grown from that? How have you built your spiritual muscles from that? So if I ask myself, Brother Jamal, I talk to myself a lot, Brother Jamal, what has been your greatest suffering? Well, for sure, it's the death of loved ones in my life. The death of loved ones. So, what good came from that? For example, the death of my parents when I was young. Well, it made me aware in a heartfelt way of the mysteries of the invisible world. I've always talked about it. There is this invisible world, but it was always a knowledge of the tongue. There's wonderful saying by mystics, there's knowledge of the tongue and there's knowledge of the heart. So when my parents died, I had a better understanding about the mystery of the invisible world. In my teaching, I was taught a lot of insights and wisdom from the 13th century sage Rumi, who was a great master of the Quran. He had just mastered the Quran. I love his wonderful utterances. Rumi never did very little writing. He would just go into a trance and utter words, and his family and friends would write down what he uttered. So one of his utterances is, there is traffic and trade in those invisible realms. Jamal, Brother Jamal, flee not the invisible world, for it is a place of income. And this visible world, this place of more or less, is a place of expenditure. Flee not the invisible world, for it is a place of income. And this visible world, this place of more or less, is a place of expenditure. So I had a more palpable understanding of the invisible world. What else? About time, the preciousness of time. The Quran says, please, no matter what stage of life you're in, become aware of the preciousness, the sacredness of time. It's later than you think. And so many verses of the Quran, since I was young, has been drummed into me. Travelers, this is again Rumi, travelers, it is late. Travelers, it is late. Life's sun is going to set. In the brief moments that you have, please spare no effort of your wings. Childhood, youth, maturity, and now old age. Every guest agrees to stay 3 days, no more. Master, you asked me to remind you. Time to go. Another one which I remember so well, not to make me feel morbid or unhappy, but to make me realize that by focusing on this suffering of the pain, the sadness that people are dying, your loved ones, it makes you more alive. Death is hoarse from shouting. Death is hoarse from shouting. From so many, this shouting, death's drum skin has, from so many astounding blows, death's drum skin has split. But Brother Jamal, you enmeshed yourself in trivialities, in the dramas and melodramas of life, and only now do you apprehend the mystery of death. You know, Rumi studied all these different Quranic verses about death. He comes up with this wonderful verse. You know, the Quran has a verse that says, every soul will taste death. Rumi reads that, goes into a trance and utters just one more sentence. He says, yes, every soul will taste death, but very few will taste life. Every soul will taste death, but very few will taste life. Okay, deeper understanding of the invisible world, preciousness of time, and what I'm talking about, what it taught me, this grief, this pain of this loss, was it rearranged my priorities. You know, in all traditions, the most, not the most, but one of the most popular meditations is meditating on your death. Not to make you feel unhappy, but to make you alive. It rearranges your priorities of life, keeps you away from trivialities, enmeshment in dramas and melodramas of life. I'm just remembering there was a story where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was very much against priesthood. He said between humanity and God, there should be no intermediary. And people argued with him, don't we need priests? And a very wise woman came to the Prophet Muhammad and said, "Oh Muhammad, we need a priest to advise us about the difficult issues of life." And what did the Prophet Muhammad said? The only priest you need is awareness of your death. And that'll rearrange your priorities, give you wisdom. Okay, just be with that for a few moments. Now I want to ask a question which people ask all the time. There is so much of suffering, oppression, injustice, cruelty in the world. Where is God? God who is all aware. For example, the Quran says, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. I just sang that. I chanted that verse in the name of God who is boundlessly compassionate, infinitely merciful. Where is God? In the face of all this brutality, killings. So the story of a pious person who travels the world and is so overwhelmed by the enormity of the injustice, oppression, brutality, breaks down and cries, God, God, you are God, all powerful, all aware, all compassionate. Please do something, do something. No answer. But that night in a vision, God comes in a vision and says, "Oh, beloved one, I did do something. I created you. Brother Jamal, what are you doing?" Prophet Muhammad said, when you encounter oppression, injustice, brutality, he said, use your hands, do something. If you cannot do that for whatever reason, use your mouth, speak out. If you cannot do that, at least pray from your heart, but get involved. I ask myself, Brother Jamal, I ask you, in the face of all these difficulties of oppression, injustice, what am I doing in my own way, in my own family, in my own community? Just be with that for a few moments. Next question people always ask, why is there so much of suffering which is imposed on good people? Like that famous book I think a rabbi wrote many years ago. As a child, I read that. Why do bad things happen to good people? Why do bad things happen to good people, to innocent people who are just, who are beautiful, equitable? I've been asked that question many times. The best answer is silence. I don't know. But you know, there's a wonderful story in Islamic literature, in mythology. There's a verse in the Quran that says, before God sent all of humanity down to earth, God gathered all the unborn humanity and said, am I not your sustainer? And we all said, yes, 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 yes. But before God sent us down to earth, God took all of humanity to a cosmic tree and said, you know, this is a world of opposites. There'll be joys and there'll be sorrows. Look at the tree. And they looked at the tree, all of humanity. On the branches were, on the limbs of the trees, there were packages of different sizes. And God said, these are packages of suffering. Some are small, some are medium, some are large. And God said to humanity, pick any one of those. You have a choice. And guess what? The nobler ones among us chose the larger packages so others would suffer less. The nobler ones among us chose the larger packages so others would suffer less. So when somebody is suffering, I don't ask myself, was it their karma? You know, what was the cause and this and that? I just feel grateful that they chose the larger package. And can I just be of authentic service to those who are suffering so much? You know, when I mention this in conferences, I invariably get emails from people. I always talk about the last one I got, which was like 2 years ago. This man said, you know, my wife is a very beautiful, noble human being, but the noblest human being I've ever met in my life. I married her. She's young, and she's dying from cancer. And for years, while she has survived, and she's dying in front of my eyes, I've been so bitter, angry at God. How could you do this to such a person who is so innocent, beautiful, noble? But after I heard this story about she having picked the larger package, my heart melted. And for the first time in my life, I'm just being of authentic service to this noble woman who is dying, who is my wife. But that story has brought peace to my heart. Just be with that, my friends. I'm looking at the time, and I better consult my notes so I can either speak faster or cut short my talk. Okay, very quickly. The Prophet Muhammad, 6th, 7th century, at one point he felt abandoned by God. After he received some revelations, for almost like a year, no revelations. And he felt, oh my God, I've been abandoned. Then a revelation came, a very tender, sweet revelation. Oh, no, God has not abandoned you. And there's some other verses, but the main verse is this insight that particularly in times of difficulties, in time of crisis, in terms of hardship, remember two things. Particularly in times of hardship, number one, continue with your spiritual practices. Number two, continue to be of service to God's creation. According to your capacity. That's a wonderful insight, which I know is very important in my life and that I've experienced, particularly in times of difficulty. Continue according to your capacity to deepen your spiritual practices, to become a more Christ-like human being, Buddha-like, Elohim-like. And also, number two, continue being of service Just be with that. See if this, I love Rumi's words. Does this splash in your heart? Does this resonate for you? The other story of Prophet Muhammad, I don't know if you know the story of Prophet Muhammad. He was an immigrant. He was persecuted in Mecca, his homeland, hounded. And somehow he managed to escape alive, to migrate from Mecca to Medina. And he preached his philosophy that there is only one God, and that caused so much anger in the Arabian Peninsula. How can you say there's only one God? But he was a fierce monotheist. And they sent armies 10 times superior to crush him, to kill him, to decimate his small, tiny, embryonic community. Which is why I wanted to use the word jihad. The most misunderstood word. See, jihad is a very frightening word. For me, it's a very sacred word because there's such misunderstanding of the word jihad. Jihad simply means exertion, effort. So he would fight those battles to save his community, rooted in a verse from the Quran that says, "Fight only those who fight against you. Begin not hostilities," says the Quran, "for God loves not the aggressors." And somehow he managed to survive, although the enemies against him were 10 times superior, but he always survived. And after each battle, he would come and say, "We have done the lesser jihad, lesser effort. Let's do the greater jihad." "What is the greater jihad?" they asked him. He said, "The real enemy is not out there. The real enemy is inside you. Let us do the inner inconvenient work of becoming a more complete, developed human being." And that is what jihad means. 90% of the word jihad means, can I make that spiritual effort, spiritual exertion to become a more developed, complete human being? And what is that work? The Quran lays it out very clearly. You've got to transform your ego. As the Sufi teachers say, spiritual teachers say, from a commanding master into a personal assistant. Through compassionate self-witnessing, can I do the work of transforming my ego, that I, me, which I need. But through compassionate spiritual witnessing, spiritual practices, transform that from a commanding master into a personal assistant. And the Quran goes on. The words are, you've got to clean the rust from your heart and open the heart. Create what is called inner spaciousness, more inclusivity, more joy to flow in. You've got to do the inner inconvenient work. Particularly in times of difficulties. So I take what the Buddhists and all the other teachers say, I take the right action in life. You see, this is the time. I live in Seattle, Washington. So many difficult feelings come up. Anger, hate, resentment. I've got to have some spiritual practices to soften those, to heal those, to incorporate that, to embrace it, which is why in Islamic spirituality you have a practice called sacred holding. The best way to explain to you is, in Western countries, I quote Carl Jung. Carl Jung, who studied many Eastern traditions, he had this wonderful writing. He said, "Would you once in your life have the courage and grace to kiss the demons and dragons within you? Would you once in your life have the courage and the grace to kiss the demons and dragons inside of you? Because that is how they turn into a prince or princess." So I've got to have some practice to be able to embrace my difficult feelings. Living in Seattle, I have so many difficult thoughts in my mind that emerge from anger, resentment, fear, sadness. Do I have some spiritual practice to manage my difficult thoughts? You see, in Buddhism they explain when you have a difficult thought, if you're not mindful, it deteriorates into a difficult feeling, revenge, anger. If you don't take care of that, it deteriorates into what is called negative imaginary scenarios. I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll be violent. It's all in my mind. And I might think, it doesn't matter, it's just in my mind. This is what scientists say. The subconscious does not differentiate between real and imagined. It manifests in your real life. Which is why if you study Buddhism, there's that wonderful saying by the Buddha, you are what you think. Everything that you are arises with your thoughts. Brother Jamal, speak and act with a pure mind, pure behavior, and happiness follows you like your shadow follows you. Speak and act with an impure mind, impure behavior, and sorrow follows you like the wheel follows the oxen cart. I've got to have some spiritual practice, which, by the way, I'll talk about in the workshop, to manage my difficult thoughts that descend into negative imaginary scenarios which manifest. Just be with that, because I'm looking at the time, and I've just covered half, so I'll just cut it short by deciding which points to talk about. Okay. Very critical, say all the holy traditions, particularly in times of crisis, to practice silence. Rumi says, you could be an activist doing wonderful things, to fight planetary degradation, to fight injustice, but you've got to practice silence, because if you don't practice silence, you're like a fish, says Rumi, out of water, thrashing and quivering on the banks. From time to time, you need to dive into those oceans of silence, particularly in times of crisis. Right now, I'm doing a class, a 6-week class, based on a book by Thich Nhat Hanh, Zen and the Art of Saving the Planet. And again in the book, Thich Nhat Hanh says, particularly in times of crisis, practice silence. You'll be amazed. If you're able to find some technique of practicing silence, the most creative solutions emerge. And he gives example after example after example. So what is silence? The words of Rumi. Silence is not the absence of sound. Silence is the absence of the little self. I, me. Another one, silence is the language of God. Everything else is a poor translation. Silence is the language of God. Everything else is a poor translation. Maybe one more from Rumi. In silence, the branches of your intelligence grows new leaves. In silence, the branches of your intelligence grows new leaves. Just be with that. Am I practicing silence? Prayers. Beautiful. The Quran says, particularly if you pray in the small watches of the morning, late at night or early morning, because the Quran says that's when impressions are the strongest, words most eloquent, because so many people are sleeping. There are less veils between you and the invisible world. If I remember the words of Rumi, who says, please, I beg you, if you pray early morning. No one knows what makes the soul wake up so happy. No one knows what makes the soul wake up so happy. Just maybe a dawn breeze, just maybe a dawn breeze, has blown away the veil from the face of God. Rumi says, I beg you, don't go back to sleep. Don't go back to sleep. The breeze at dawn has secrets to share. The breeze at dawn has secrets to share. One more point about prayers, Islamic mystics say, is when you pray, particularly in times of difficulty, pray with passion, pray with fervor, give it a heartfelt vibration. Pray with what is called increased necessity. Rumi says, have you not noticed that only when a baby is born, does the mother's chest become filled with milk? Only when a baby is born is the mother's chest filled with milk, because there is increased necessity. Pray with increased fervor, passion, necessity. Okay, I'll bring it to a close, just 2 more points. But just be with that. How am I praying? Is it just rote, ritual? Or do I put heartfelt passion into it? A very important one is always, but particularly in times of difficulty, create authentic community. If you study religions, find some members who pass 3 gateways. There is love between you and that member of your community or members. Love, or what is called kinship of spirit. First gateway is love. Second gateway is trust. Because without trust, there is no vulnerability. Without vulnerability, there is no real community. And the third one in all of the religions is find someone or some people who love the truth, whatever that means, who live the truth. Love, trust, truth. But the critical need for community. Again, Rumi, a wall standing alone is useless. Add to it other walls, it can support a roof, even a granary. Only when ink joins with a pen can the blank paper say something. I think last time I was here, I think it was in this church, I spoke about this longest study in America, by now 85 years, about what are the factors that constitute happiness for people. They studied people. What are the factors that constitute happiness, joy? Is it doing yoga? Is it diet? You know what was number 1? Having community, having relationships. Doesn't have to be perfect, but having reliable relationships. That is what brings the greatest happiness and also increases longevity of life. That is why Rumi says, please come out of the circle of time and enter the circle of love. Last thing I want to tell you is, I said this, it's a world of opposites. There's joys and there's also sorrows. There will be times when you will have healed the pain, and then all the great teachers say, please, laugh a lot. At my age and my ministry, I talk at many funerals, many memorials. It's always a very sad event. But after the event is over, I get together with my friends and we talk about the loss, the pain we feel, and then we begin to laugh. It is so joyous to laugh after that grief you feel within you is feeling complete. You see, for example, people will start making jokes. I almost invariably say, I quote Rumi who says, Brother Jamal, at this age, you're so scared you'll go into non-existence. Brother Jamal, you're feeling so scared you'll be going into non-existence soon. But Rumi says, if the truth be known, non-existence is trembling in fear, it might be given human shape. And then I quote Ramana Maharshi who said, Brother Jamal, when you do go over to the other side, You look back at your life, at all your dramas and melodramas, you will laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. The Ramana Maharshi says, why wait? Why not laugh right now at all your dramas and melodramas? Which is why that wonderful 14th century sage Hafiz exclaims, what is this love and laughter bubbling up from within me? He says, listen to my answer. It's the sound of a soul waking up. He goes on to say, God wants to see more laughter, more playfulness in your eyes, because that is your greatest witness to God. And do you know the fastest growing spiritual movement, which one it is? Anybody know the fastest growing spiritual movement? Laughter yoga. Anybody heard of laughter yoga? Wonderful. It was in 1995 by a doctor who was to give medicine to patients, and then at the end of the dispensing of medicines, he would tell a joke. And they would laugh and laugh, and he realized they feel better, till he ran out of jokes. What do I do now? And he started this wonderful movement of laughter yoga. He took his people to a park the very first time, 1995, and now it's a worldwide movement. They said, let's go to a park, just put your hands up like this, and just laugh. Just laugh for the sake of laughing. You don't have to hear a joke, just laugh. Put your hands up like this. Look at the sky and go, So my last words are, my friends, I hope that after we heal our pain and wound, our suffering, we give ourselves a wonderful practice of laughter. Thank you.
Give us sunshine, you give us rain, you give us strength to endure the pain. And when it's darkest before the dawn, you send encouragement when hope is gone. You're the power, the force, the all-encompassing one. You give us power to choose our way, some hard decisions to make each day. When we think that you are gone, you send a rainbow, a joyful song. Whatever your name, you're the all-encompassing one. You're every flower and tree, you're every mountain and sea, you're everything that's alive. We all see through your eyes. We are one. Sometimes we're lonely and afraid, can't find a reason or time to pray. There's the illusion that we're alone, and then you show us how we have grown. When all is said and done, you're the all-encompassing one.
up one more time for Linda Kidder and Brenda Baird. Woo! And thank you, Jamal, for such an uplifting talk. There was so much in there, I don't know if I can just pick one thing, but I loved what you said about no matter what is going on in the outer world, continue with your spiritual practice and be of service. That is so important. Thank you. So coming up here at Unity, we have a few announcements. This afternoon, Jamal will be hosting a special workshop in the lower level about reclaiming our joy and inner peace. This workshop will run from 1:15 to 3:30 and will include meditation, chanting, of course, laughter, and dances of universal peace. That sounds fascinating. Everyone is invited to join, and it's offered by donation. So join us downstairs for this uplifting and joyful workshop. And on Tuesday, February 17th, it marks the new moon that opens the Lunar New Year. We'll gather for a ceremony circle in the lower level from 7 to 8:30 p.m., and this gathering offers a practical space for setting intention and grounding it into daily life through reflection and community presence. It's offered by donation, and everyone is welcome. You're invited to bring a journal or a meaningful object for the year ahead. Please join our Course in Miracles group every Tuesday from 12:30 to 2:30 in the lower level. Learn alongside like-hearted individuals as you expand your awareness, and all are welcome, and your presence will enrich the circle. Our Mastermind Prayer Group meets every Sunday before service from 10 a.m. downstairs in the meditation room. This group offers a powerful way to align with your goals through the practice of unity prayer. Reflective roundtables will be held every Sunday after service downstairs starting at 12:20. And this is a gentle, open space to explore the themes of today's service in conversations with others. You're invited to share your reflections, listen deeply, and take in the richness of diverse perspectives, all within a container of reverence and respect. We look forward to hearing your perspective. Today's affirmative prayer chaplains are Margaret McLeod, Kwei Ming Lin, and I'll be filling in for Kyler. Marilyn Norrie is on Zoom. And if you'd like to receive a confidential prayer, our chaplains will be waiting for you in the front row after the service. So join us downstairs after the music for coffee, cookies, and conversation, or at a round table. And next Sunday, we'll be joined by our very own Roy Prevost to talk about the power of gratitude. And now, as we bring our gathering to a close, please stand and join us together as we say our prayer for protection, followed by the peace song.
Six.
If you're here on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We send you our love and look forward to seeing you next week.